It seems like things just keep getting worse for James Gunn's Superman movie. First we get a disastrous reveal of the Superman costume, and then we got set photos to emphasize just how bad it really is. Now that they're getting deeper into filming the movie, more actors are arriving to shoot their scenes. We already saw Superman and Mr. Terrific, now feast your eyes on Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner. Really let these sink in for a minute. Take a good look at Nathan Fillion, who 20 years ago would have been a great Hal Jordan, but now looks like a complete moron as Guy Gardner. Or Isabela Merced, who looks like a child, and in following modern superhero trends, is as flat as an ironing board. God forbid we hire some women with curves to play characters who should look like this. I don't care about all these dumb excuses like, oh, they're temporary suits, or oh, Lord Tech is funding them and these are his costumes. These suits suck. Even if those excuses are true, that means this would be their first appearance on screen, which again leads me back to the same point I made about Superman. You only get one shot at a first impression, and the impression I get here is that I owe the CW a huge apology for ever criticizing their costumes. They had about a $50 to $75 million budget per season, and I honestly believe if you gave them the insane $363 million budget Superman has to work with, I guarantee the CW would make better costumes than these cheap cosplay suits James Gunn fished out of the dumpster behind Spirit Halloween. The design choices are just horrendous. Everyone gets the same 95% white jacket, pants, and shirt, but they have a few color lines representing their actual superhero colors. The material looks cheap and it's not designed to fit the actors at all. Isabela has the whole Captain Marvel thing going on, where her outfit is loose, fully covers her up, and makes her practically look like a dude if it weren't for her hair. And Nathan? Man, I just want to say I like him as an actor, but he is too old and he is not in shape. It's just a joke at this point. He looks like a dad from Wisconsin who tried on his teenage son's clothes.
Yikes.
As far as the actors themselves, Isabela Merced and Nathan Fillion were without a doubt cast in the wrong roles for this movie. Like I said, Nathan is a great actor. He even voiced Hal Jordan in the past, which is a role he could have pulled off 20 years ago. Him as Guy Gardner, and at his age too, it just looks ridiculous. Isabela is 22, but somehow still looks like a child. Out of all the actresses available, of course they picked the one with no curves. Even if this suit was designed to fit her better, she wouldn't be able to fill it out because she's got nothing to work with. Hollywood has a serious hatred for attractive women in superhero projects getting to wear comic accurate suits that show off their figure. I have to say Hawkgirl is the worst of the two here. I grew up with the Justice League animated show just like everyone else, and she was not lacking curves there. All you have to do is Google Hawkgirl cosplay, and you'll see fans who made better suits in their basement than a $363 million movie. Not to mention the women wearing them actually look like grown, attractive women who have the assets to fill out the suits, unlike this 14-year-old boy we're stuck with.
Get rid of her.
To address all the crybabies and shills trying to justify this nonsense, yes, like I mentioned earlier, that is the Lord Tech symbol. This seems like some kind of Justice League formed by Maxwell Lord, and that's why their costumes all have similar designs. Let me put this as clearly as I possibly can. Temporary suits are not an excuse for shitty designs. Saying that Maxwell Lord gave them these suits does not somehow make it okay for the suits to look like complete and utter garbage. There is absolutely no excuse to put characters who should look like this into costumes like these. It doesn't matter if they all magically get comic accurate suits by the end, this is the first impression they're making on audiences. My eyes shouldn't be subjected to torture like this. It's a genuine crime to put suits this ugly on a theater screen.
You're the worst kind of scum on the face of the earth.
The excuse reminds me of the Flash director saying the horrible CGI was done on purpose. It's just another excuse for terrible decision making. Let's roll with that dumb plot that makes Lord Tech a major player in this world. A decision which I'm sure has nothing to do with the fact that Gunn cast his brother as Maxwell Lord. Give them better suits. It's that simple. The lady who designed these apparently worked on MCU movies like Infinity War, Winter Soldier, and Civil War, which blows my mind. One of two things clearly happened here. Either Gunn directed her to make these shitty costumes since he always has to take the weird path to subvert fan expectations, or the Space Jam aliens came and took her design skills for a galactic costume design tournament.
We got a disaster on our hands. A disaster!
These suits just suck, man, and I wish I could say I was sad, but that would imply I actually believe they would be good. Even before we saw the Superman suit, I had zero faith in James Gunn because all of his hypocritical nonsense and lies. That distrust was obviously well deserved because this is what he's giving us. A version of the Justice League's B team with shitty, cheap matching outfits worn by actors who shouldn't have been cast in those roles to begin with. We went from expensive cinematic outfits that were handcrafted to fit each actor to piles of dog shit like this. Whether or not they get better outfits by the end is irrelevant. Nobody in their right mind would dare to put outfits this horrendous on screen. They would know that suits like this need to be taken out behind the shed and burned before they cause everyone's eyes to bleed.